right, so plan for today is to start going through books. I definitely will not get that done today, but I do hope to get, ambitious of me, but maybe this whole bookshelf done. So basically I'm just gonna sort through. I want to try and make sure that I don't have any of the books that I have to get back to my district, and I want to go through to decide if it's a book that I want to keep or if I'm okay with getting rid of it. So let's get going. All right, so went ahead. It was ambitious. I'm here kind of late at school, but we got it done. This shelf has been gone through. Part one. These books left in the tubs, these are some books I don't want. I don't want those books. These ones, undecided. I am not sure if I'm keeping these set. I have a set of Bernstein Bear books and a set of Magic School Bus books. We'll see if I decide if they're worthy to go in my bins. This pile here though, these are books I think I would want to keep. I am going to go through them again, try and pare them down again. This shelf here was basically my picture books that I usually just let kids read. I still have books over here though, chapter books, easy readers to go through, making sure all the district books are put back over there. And then, of course, my shelf of lots of read alouds and themed books, which also applies to this shelf back here. So I want to make sure I don't overdo it on keeping the books. My thought is I'd rather the book go to a kid who can read the book rather than it sit in a tub for 1 or 2 years, however long I'm gone. So that's kind of my thought process there. So with that in mind, I still have to go through these books again. I'm gonna do that another time. I'm done, ready to go home. So that is it for today. We will see you again tomorrow. Check out another shelf of books. Hey, so today is technically day 2 of doing my books. Last time I did this shelf here. Have a couple empty bins now. So pretty much all of these are books that I am not taking with me. I don't want anymore. So my plan is to just give them to other teachers around here, or even let some of my kids take them home. And then still deciding on these ones. I have a bunch of Magic School Bus books and Bernstein Bear books. And I just feel like the Magic School Bus books are really great to read to my class. And then the Bernstein Bear books I personally like, and every now and then you get a kid that does like a series like this. But being in 1st grade, they're a little bit high for my kids. So we'll see if I'm keep them or not. So far, this green bin is books that I would like to keep. I'm gonna kind of go through and re-edit this to figure out, is it really worth keeping or not? But my thought process right now is just, well, if this book is just gonna sit in a bin for a year, that's really not gonna do anybody any good. So it might as well go to another teacher or another student, so that way they can read it, because that's the point of books, right? To read them. Yeah, and then I forgot I had one more bin of picture books. Basically the way I did in my classroom is these bins are where I put the picture books just because they're nice and big. These actually I got from another teacher, so these will go back to her. And then this shelf here, these are a lot of the easy readers, chapter books. They fit really nicely in there. So today's goal is to go through this bin, which was just in the bottom of this shelf here. I'm not gonna touch this shelf yet. I'm gonna wait, and hopefully I can get through most of these books. That might be the hard one because these have a ton of books in them, but we're gonna go through them. We're gonna see. I've been also taking a Sharpie and crossing out my name in a lot of books that I'm not gonna keep. That way my name's not in them. So here we go. Let's get organizing. so I've temporarily paused because, man, going through books is really hard. Like, I know that I have books that I'm like, oh, I'm definitely going to keep that. That's like a read aloud, always will keep. For instance, like, I have my Mercy Watson set of books, and I feel like kids always like these. These are always a really great way to get them started into chapter books. But then I have books that I don't read aloud, but that it's nice to have that set. And I got like sets at Goodwill. For example, like Horrible Harry. This might be a little older, but I always have kids interested. The Bad Guys was a newer one, or Princess in Black. And so it's like these books that I'm stuck on because I don't know whether it's okay to keep them, or like I said, if it's better just for a kid to be reading them and to just give them away. So, thinking through that. So yeah, I got a good stack of books that I'm kind of just trying to figure out. Do I want to keep, get rid of? So far, these bins were get rid of. There's some extras or just some other books that I'm like, not too attached to. And then back here, I have like the start of my easy readers from the top of the shelf. I know that most of these I'm probably not going to keep. They don't necessarily seem worth it. But yeah, that's where I'm at. So I'm gonna keep going, and like I said, hopefully I can get this shelf done, and hopefully I can kind of figure out what I want to do with these. I might just kind of stay out for a while just to help me like think over it and mull over it. But man, these are the things that are hard, because when you're packing up a classroom, you kind of just keep your stuff. But in this case, if I'm not going to be using it for a year, that's a long time, and that's a significant difference. So I want to make sure I'm doing the right thing with these books and not just taking up a bin when I don't need to. Yeah, so that's where I'm at. I'm going to keep going. Okay, here is what we have so far. I have gone through all of these books. This is the pile of books that I am still debating on whether or not to keep. And these are also other books that are going to stay here. So this white shelf, this shelf has basically been gone through, with the exception of these books, deciding on whether or not to keep them. Still to come, make sure I have all my correct district books over here. Make sure that all of these books are ones that I want to keep, and that shelf goes along with that. So, yeah, feeling pretty good. All right, so I'm tapping out for today, but we'll go again tomorrow. More books. It's just gonna be books, 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 books until they get done. And as a teacher, there are books everywhere. So, see you next time. Okay, so it's actually book day 3, and very small today. Today's Friday. Typically on Fridays, I like to do my Sabbath from Friday afternoon to about Saturday afternoon. Usually it's about 4 o'clock on Friday to 4 o'clock on Saturday. I went ahead though and did just a little bit here. It's close to about 5 on Friday, so I'll just kind of move my Sabbath around. But I went ahead today and put all of my book club books into bags. So all of these here went into just some bags I got at the Dollar Tree, and that was basically it. But you know, we're gonna count it as book day 3. So book day 4, we are going to go ahead and tackle all of my personal books, my personal read alouds and things. Really make sure that I want to keep them all, maybe even start to pack them up because I haven't really used them this year. We will see when it gets to book day 4. So stay tuned, still more to come. Hello, all right, book day 4. Today's goal is to go through. Remember, these are all the books that I usually use for read alouds. So I'll kind of take you through some of the really great ones that I think are worth keeping and worth showing, worth reading. But yeah, I just want to go through and make sure I have all the ones I need, kind of make sure, yeah, I want to keep it, no, I don't. Kind of the same thing I've been doing. So we're just going to keep on going. I have about 4 weeks left until I've got to be out of this room. So gotta keep plugging away. And at some point I will start putting these in tubs. Probably not today. I'm just not feeling it yet. So here we go. Book day 4. Okay, so I think I've gone through. I just have a small stack of books that I either have duplicates of or that I just don't want. But yeah, like I thought, most of these books I'm gonna keep. Just so you know kind of what these books are. So these here are just some author studies is kind of what I used to do. Like every month we would go through an author and read the books, kind of talk about what that author did, use some of that stuff in their writing as well. But throughout the years, it's actually not been as great as I first had it as. I had more free time in my first year than I do now. But of course, there's Mo Willems. Everybody loves those books. So I have a set of those. And then Kevin Hinks. I never know how to pronounce his last name, but I absolutely adore these books. And I really like these for comparing characters. Those are really great. Ezra Jack Keats, of course, I really enjoy his classic books here, and the kids like looking through those books and they really relate to them. Tommy DePaulo, to be honest with you, I might not keep all of these. I personally grew up with Tommy DePaulo, but the biggest one is Stregonona, and I love reading that to the kids. And same with Leo Leone. Inch by Inch is usually one that I read, but some of the other ones, and Frederick, but we don't really read too many of the other ones, so I might not. It's hard because he's a classic. And Eric Carle, of course, every student also likes that with the Hungry Hungry Caterpillar, Grouchy Ladybug. But the most famous one is Brown Bear, What Do You See? My goodness, they always love that book. And then I also had Laura Numeroff because I loved the If You Give a Mouse a Cookie and all of her various takes on it. And my first year, the kids liked looking through those and they liked talking about the differences and the similarities in her writing. So I think I will go ahead and keep her. Yuji Morales has been a more recent favorite of mine. I, adore her and her writing. Her book Dreamers is really what got me. But then Niño Wrestles the World and the second book in that series, I can't remember the name, but my kids always love this one. And my Spanish speakers as well, because of the Spanish parts of it, they really enjoy and really connect to that. And then I have Jacqueline Woodson. I love her writing. Absolutely love it. I do think, though, it's a little bit much for my first graders. She has maybe like 2 or 3 books that we usually read. The Day You Begin, and then the one with the friendship one that I can't think of the name, but it's also really good. I just don't have a copy of it. So there's hers. And then Jan Brett I used to do simply because of the Mitten. Kids love that book. But some of her other ones are, they're okay. My kids like, of course, during Christmas time is when I do hers, and they like looking at the reindeer, the polar bears, and she has more wintry themed books. So those are just kind of some of the authors that I've kept. I probably will end up keeping them again. Who am I kidding? I like keeping books. And then these ones here, so I organized them kind of by month like I do with my files. This one is kind of beginning of the year. So beginning of the year books, autumn books. Love reading We Don't Eat Our Classmates. That one's always a fun one. I didn't read The Name Jar, I don't think, to my kids, but I did do Alma and How She Got Her Name. Your Name is a Song, and Chrysanthemum. Love doing that. And then, of course, Pete the Cat, 5 Little Pumpkins. Creepy Carrots is really fun. And then this is another one that I love reading and my kids also enjoy, Rosita y Conchita, kind of talking about the Day of the Dead, El Dia de los Muertos, has it both in English and Spanish. I usually just read the English version because my kids who speak Spanish today don't do a good job with the Spanish part. And just some other books to put out in October, and then November books, some Thanksgiving, some books focused on Native Americans. I enjoy doing Unstoppable. This one I feel like was a good way of talking about the boarding schools and just how those affected the population of Native Americans. And I mean, it does not at all bring out all of the injustices that has been done to the fierce people here, but I do enjoy, and I'm gonna, let's see, hopefully I won't get in trouble for doing this, but there is a section in here, this part here. So this was always a great conversation, especially because it literally says the American government took Native children from their homes, and my kids are always like, excuse me, what happened? And then they cut their hair and they get really upset about this, which is good. You need to be, because it was not okay what happened and all the repercussions that are still happening. It's just, it's a lot. So there's those, and then we have some winter books here, just a couple of favorites, different ones there, and then my Martin Luther King books. I really always just use Happy Birthday Martin Luther King, and then a couple of my extra ones here, plus a couple of other resources, of course, just to really get behind why he was important in everything that he did. A good comprehensive view, that's the word I'm looking for. Then we got some February, I only have one like Valentine's book, and then Black History Month. So all of these great books here. I really enjoy using this one to talk about differences in our skin, but how it's all beautiful. And this one really focuses on brown, which is kind of nice too. Then we have Hair Love. Oh gosh, love this story. This one like makes me cry like every time. Then I get to watch that little video that was made as well. Just a really great time. And I Love My Hair as well is a great one to pair with that book. Leprechauns, Easter Bunnies. And then I also have, I think I put it over here. We go into Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month. This book I got from, my family has had this book for a long time. I think our friends from Hawaii had got it for us. It is so good. The only bad part is I'm assuming me or my siblings scribbled all over this book. So my kids are always like, why is there pages scribbled? I'm like, I don't know. But I haven't been able to really find it anywhere else, and I really enjoy that one. I like to use this with the Three Little Pigs just to do some compare and contrasting. Then we have just some other books here. Ganesh's Sweet Tooth, that one was a fun one. I Live in Tokyo. Some about wearing hijab and kamar. This one I got from a local author. No, she's in California, but I thought this was a really interesting one about Filipino heritage. The Festival Colors to do for Holly. And then we have our June LGBTQ plus books. So Julian is a mermaid. The hips on the drag queen go swish, swish, swish. Okay, I've never actually read this to my class, but I just thought this was so funny, so I got it. And so fun. This day in June, My Rainbow. This was a beautiful book. My goodness. Peanut Goes for the Gold. Gotta have JVN in there, you know. This is a great one. It Feels Good to Be Yourself. I just got this summer, a book about gender identity, and it has some really great things. Okay, my kids always love Prince and Knight. It is so good. They're always like, yeah, they cheer. It's so fun. Angus Allglow is also a favorite too. So there are kind of those monthly books, author studies, and then stack of really random books that I really enjoy having though. Some highlights include, I'm going to make a mess here, so oops. Last Stop on Market Street, Dragons Love Tacos, Stand Tall, I Like Myself. Okay, I personally really like They All Saw a Cat. I think it's a really cool perspective book. This book is great, Birthdays Around the World. Just very simple, very good comparison about birthdays. Don't Hug Doug was a favorite this year, at least of mine. My kids liked it too. The Legend of Rock, Paper, Scissors is always a favorite. Highland Born is really good. The True Story of the Three Little Pigs, this was also a really good book. All right, and then I'm a big fan of Jory John, so The Good Egg and The Bad Seed. I need to get his other ones. And then this year, I really enjoyed Ruby Finds a Worry by Tom Percival. That one's a really good one. So, just a couple of books. Oh, and then I guess my chapter books over here. I have the Magic Treehouse series over here. Those ones are always really great to read to the class. The Mercy Watson set, and then just a couple of extra books. And then right here, these ones are really great. I usually have my kids actually read these ones. They're so simple. The Adventures of Otto collection set, and they are like the perfect pattern book. They're the perfect book for kids who are just barely reading, and they're really fun. About robot. My kids typically really like them, so I usually have those out for kids to read. Okay, so that's about it for this section of books. Oh no, I totally forgot about that shelf over there. Those are all of my Women's History Month books. Looking at them, yeah, I'm probably just gonna keep all of them. I have one more section of books to go through, which I'm at this point I'm kind of like, nah, I just should not even look at them and just say no, I don't want them, but I will be going through them. So book day 5 will be coming up. I think I'm just gonna keep these books that I just went through back up on the shelf up here. Find a section for those books that I'm not gonna keep, put those away, and yeah, again, feeling pretty good. I might start packing up these books this week. It's hard because I want to just pack up my whole classroom, but there are a couple things I still need. So like these books, I want to make sure that I'm not using them, but it might be good just to go ahead and pack them up. So that is it for today. We will see you tomorrow for book day 5. All right, it is book day 5, I think. I can't really remember, but little update. Went through that shelf of books back there, my Women's History Month books. Like I said, I was just gonna keep all of them anyways, but I went ahead and set them off. I'm trying to remove as many books as I can of the ones that I'm gonna keep. That way I can start figuring out how to offer these extra ones to different teachers in my building or figure out where they should go. So that's kind of the goal, is to try to figure out all of the things that I'm gonna keep and then just start offering up everything else. All right, today's task, we are going here to my cabinet of non-fiction books. Yes, I got like a box full of nonfiction books and I've just kept them in here, and there's a couple of ones that I use for different nonfiction units, but then there's just a couple of random books that I'm not sure about, so I'm gonna be going through here, and then just a few extra poetry books, some Shel Silverstein, these ones here, so we'll figure out exactly which ones of these I want to keep. Yeah, I've never actually done I've done a poetry unit one time, so I've never really used these, but I feel like everywhere else they do poetry units, and I think poetry is a great thing to practice with kids and to get them reading different genres, so I do want to make sure I keep some of those. But this is really the big task here, is figuring out which one of these I want to keep. So let's get to sorting. Okay, so I have my mask on for 2 reasons. One, I have a huge pimple on my face, which you probably saw in that last clip, and my janitor has been around cleaning, so I wanted to make sure I kept this on here. Went through all of those books. I think I have a good stack here of some books I want to keep. I might go through it again, of course, like I will with my other books over there. And then I have a stack here that I'm like, I'm not sure. Books are just really hard to go through. For example, I have all of these like I Spy, Where's Waldo books that my kids love looking through for like fun Fridays, or I haven't done it yet this year, but because we're not sharing anything, I could easily give this to a kid and say, have some fun, because I just love looking through these. So it also makes for an independent activity as well. And so I think I'm gonna try to keep them. Yes, that is my thinking right now. But yeah, I think I have a good stack. I just tried to think of all of the different topics that kids typically like to read about, and then kept those of my nonfiction, plus a couple of extra things that I thought were interesting, like An Alphabet of African Animals and O is for Orca. They're just kind of books that I don't see typically. But this way I can rebuild my collection. I guess this is I don't know, my first science book. I'm not sure. It has some cool experiments and things, but we'll see. And then Out of Wonder, a poet or poem celebrating poets. So really good look at poetry here. Daniel finds a poem. This random book of poems, which I thought these were really fun. And these are like really funny ones. Like, once I played in the ocean tide, it made me slip, it made me slide. Once it flipped me on my slide, it felt like I was on a ride. So lots of rhyming and things, but I thought that'd be good. And of course, Mother Goose Book of Rhymes. So I thought that would be good for if I ever do some poetry stuff. But I think that's about it for all of my books. As of right now, I'm looking around my room. I think I've got them all. I think this was the last day of books. Technically, I do need to go through all these before packing them up, but at least I've gone through and divided out books to get rid of, books to keep. And my goal right now is to, or my thought right now, is to offer those books that I'm not keeping to my kids, and say, you can take whatever books you want. That way they directly get them, and then offer the rest to teachers in my building and kind of go from there. So yeah, my glasses are fogging up a lot in this mask. I don't have it situated correctly. There we go. All right, so I think that concludes all of the books for now. I think the next step is to start packing, because I've gone through all of the big things that I knew I needed to go through, and the rest of the stuff can be gone through as I pack it away. All right, everybody, I think that concludes this video. So go ahead, like, comment, and subscribe for more videos about packing, moving to Cambodia, a couple of the different teacher things as well. And yeah, I will see you next time. Bye.